Hola, queridas, queridos. Welcome back to the Beam and Flow podcast, a nitty gritty exploration of your body, energy, awareness, movement, and flow. I am your host, Chloé. Here we go. Enjoy the show. Buenas. So today is a solo episode, and it's the first episode of 2024. Wow, we made it. Um, by the way, I don't buy into the whole Gregorian calendar myth. It's not the new year right now. The new year is in the spring equinox. That's the new year. But I am still grateful for a time of reflection, even if it's a made up time. I enjoy the reflection part. So, with all that said, welcome to 2024 ish. Uh, and yeah, so this season has been our second plant medicine season. And I really wanted to take a moment to sit and reflect on everything that we have been talking about and um, what I've sat with my learnings from these wonderful teachers, these plants, over the past year. And in wanting to reflect back on that, I realized that one of the pieces of the plant medicine journey that we haven't spent a ton of time, we've talked about it, but we haven't like dove deep in it, is the integration period. And I think now is a perfect time to talk a little bit about this because I have been on an integration break from specifically from psilocybin for the past almost month. It'll be a month in a couple days. Um, I've been microdosing um, on and off over the past year and a half, but I was in a season of microdosing with a consistent 4 days, 3 days a week pattern since August, and it was really helpful as I was going through some major transitions and shedding and death phases and transforming and rebirth and all of the things. I moved back to the United States. I moved in with my grandmother after my grandfather passed away. I said goodbye to my business plan in one respect on a whole, like wiped everything down and started from scratch. There was a lot going on. And so psilocybin was very, very helpful for me during that period. And I will likely be starting back up again in a few weeks in the middle of January in terms of microdosing because of I want to be really focused on, for me, what has come up in this. I want to focus on this next mushroom microdose experience season on what has come up in this integration, in this break period. Um, so here's what's come up for me. Some of what's come up for me is around work, and not just work, but kind of how I approach my life. I have Sagittarius in so much of my chart. I am just an Aries. So I'm just like fire and air and let's go. Like, let's burn this brighter and go. Being patient, not super one of my strengths. I do it. I practice patience a lot, but it's not something that comes super easy to me. To me, if somebody says it'll take you a year to get something done, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll get that done in 4 months. And usually I do, and pretty well. And I am recognizing this pattern in my life of um, getting so in alignment in one area, and like that lights me up so much. Again, all of the Sag and Aries lights me up so much that I'm just like running down mountain with energy. Like, let's just go. So expansive. And then that energy feels so good. And I'm seeing so much come of it that I start allowing that energy to blow into every area of my life. So, some examples of this. 7 years ago, because we're in 2024 now, so it's 7 years. I went through my divorce, and my former husband and I are still good friends. We love each other very much. We want the best for each other, but our marriage came to an end, and that was very painful and also very liberating. And it was just confusing. There was so much happening at the same time, and it was absolutely in alignment for both of us, as painful as it was. So that alignment, right? That feeling in alignment with this new life, this new lesson, these new energies, like lit me up so much. And I wrote, produced, cast, starred in, sold out La Hija del Pirata / The Pirate's Daughter within 6 months of the divorce being finalized. That's insane. Like that's crazy. But I did it, and I did it well, and it was one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. But do you see how, like, that's one example of, "Oh, I'm gonna burn everything down and just go, go, go?" So I created wonderful stuff out of that, right? I'm so proud of that show and of this magic that we created together, the whole cast and the crew, my peoples. And it came out of this, like, very unbridled energy. So fast forward, 2018. I left the corporate world that I had been in at least part-time for 10 years and went completely on my own in business, and that felt so good and in such alignment, that that process, to be honest, took a little bit. Um, 2019 though, things start picking up and I'm like feeling it. Money's coming in. I have my first apprentices, like I'm teaching them. Things are going. And I decided at the end of 2019, this feels so good. I'm just going to keep expanding, keep going in every area, and now I'm going to move back home to Puerto Rico. And I did that. And then 3 weeks later, COVID happened. And it was so intense, the lockdown there, that I could not do what my business model was at that time, which is hands-on work and body work and energy work and lymphatic drainage. I couldn't do it. So there was literally no way for me to survive. So I came back to the United States. Do you see this pattern? And every time, by the way, that I went through this pattern of like, go all in, burn everything down, I come out and I am leveled up. I'm in a different place than I was before, a better place, right? But it's a little bit draining to keep going through this same process. So, last year, 2023, I went back into the corporate world in a little bit of a different way, and was just like killing it, and decided this feels so good. And I'm like pivoting my business model for the stuff that I want to be doing on the BEAM&Flow side. And the podcast was launched, and I did the um, Noche de Joy, the Winter Solstice Gala at the end of 2022. And then I went to Mexico for the new year and for my birthday and fell in love with Shulha and moved to Mexico. All in like a little bit of time. Just bye. And that was wonderful. And I learned so much. And I'm so grateful for all of it. And there was a lot of pain involved. And there was a lot of like whiplash feeling from all of this. And now I'm back in the United States, and it is a whole other level up. Like every time I burn everything down, I come back and it's like an even higher level. And I have a feeling that there is a way to do this without burning everything down. I have a feeling that there's a way to harness, to modulate, to like really use all of this fire and air, all of this excitement and passion and energy in a directed sustained way, right? Where I can get to these level ups faster without tearing everything down and having to like break open so much by focusing on one thing, on the one thing. So even though right now, creatively, I'm like lit up and I want to write another play and I want to take the business in a whole other direction again. And I want to redo the house in the Poconos so that I can start launching retreats. And I have so much that I want to be doing. And I want a family and I want to meet someone and all of these things. And they're all valid. They're all beautiful. They're all coming out of wanting to serve and wanting to be plugged in to my highest, greatest ability, which is wonderful. And I think I can harness this fuel, this fire, by focusing on just the one thing. So for me, the one thing in 2024 that I am focusing on is really like up leveling and expanding BEAM&Flow coaching. That's the heart of what I do. I help people transform their lives into their fullest, most lit up lives. And they don't have to burn down their lives to do it. So if I help other people do it, and I do, that's my whole living, I can do it for myself. And so I've been really sitting with the sitting. I've been sitting with the slowing down. I've been sitting with the one thing over these past several weeks of being on an integration break. So now, as I am ready to start up again as we move into January, I'm taking this awareness that I have now started embodying. Like I'm doing practices in the morning to get this centeredness, this oneness into my nervous system. So it's becoming more and more of my body. I'm ready to start putting the work in a really focused, directed way. And so um, when I start opening up my relationship again with psilocybin, that's going to be the focus. It's going to be a one creative outlet focus directed intention, which is different than how I have used them in a microdose way before. So I'm really excited about how I will be connecting with these wonderful teachers over the next few months, and I will absolutely be sharing what I'm learning on all of the platforms. So uh, my birthday is coming up on Friday. This is going to be released on Thursday, so day after this gets released is my birthday, and I will be 38. And I am very excited for this new year. And um, I have completely surrendered at the end of my 37th year to the mystery of life, of God, of us, of me. I surrender. I don't know. I know what lights me up and where I envision things going, but how it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, I don't know. Right now, I'm here for today. I'm here for you, for this show, for this moment. And in this moment, I am feeling warm and buzzy, but not like jittery, just like humming. Like I'm steadily humming. That's how I feel in a great way. Um, so if you're going to be in the New York City area uh, for January 5th and you want to come celebrate, I will be dancing the night away at the Sultan Room in Bushwick with Home and Abroad. If you were at the Winter Solstice Gala 2 years ago, 2022, then you know them because they brought the house down with all the music. And that's where I'm going to be celebrating this new trip, this new journey of these 4 seasons that I'm about to go through in my 38th year. So, um, I'm really curious how your integration processes work, what you've discovered about yourself in these periods of time when you take a break from psilocybin, from cannabis, whatever medicines you're engaging with. So please let me know what those integration breaks have been like for you, and we will see you next season with the spring equinox. That is when our next batch of episodes will be released. So until then, I love you. I'm so excited that we are on this journey together, and I'm here for you. However I can serve you, let me know. Hasta luego. Queridas, we made it to one of my favorite parts of each episode, the moment of flow. I love poetry. I love words and rhythm, and how when you mix the two, you get into a beautiful state of flow. And so I want to leave you with that at the end of each episode. So here it is, your moment of flow. Sit with it. Sit with it. Walk with it. Write about it. Sing about it. Not for the like, not out of lack. Be curious in the learning, in the unwinding. May there be grace and wonder. Thrash the pain through. Cry the release. Voice the sounds, not for God's like, not out of ego. Be present with all of it, because you are part of the all that is. And the all that is can hold all the its. Show your bigness, your grandiosity, your expansive capacity to be with, to face, to contain, to transmute it all.